introduction and briefing, is a serious step in the right direction to make sure that the right issues and the right philosophy are represented in 2008. I thank you for taking the time out of your life here to indicate just by the sheer turnout how serious and how important this is. All of you are getting a little handout. I used to teach and I can't help myself. I like to leave something you can write on and you can take notes on, and then later on when you wonder what it was I said, you go back and tell you. In addition, this has some very interesting polling data that I want to use. And November 6th, I'm going to do a 3-hour webcast that anybody who wants to can pick up on their computer just by going to the internet to AmericanSolutions.com. At American Solutions, we've taken 6 national surveys, and over 6,000 people have responded. And we have a pretty good sense of the American people. And it is so much different than what you get from the elite media. But I wanted to spend a couple of minutes sharing with you the American people. Each done by a different company gives a really broad base of information. Let's talk about the number one lesson which makes American people different from the politics of the news media of Washington. This is the country. 86% of the American people believe that there are values which unite all Americans. 80% believe it is very important for you to pursue the goal of strengthening and revitalizing America's core values. 85% believe that it's very important to defend America. That number again. After all this talk about MoveOn.org, the hard left, the folks out there who are eager to legislate defeat for America, 85% of people believe it is very important to defend America and our allies, and 75%, 3 out of every 4, believe that it is very important to defeat America's opponents. A language you don't hear much about on Capitol. 93% of the American people believe that Al-Qaeda is a serious threat. So the debate among most Americans is over. They understand who these terrorists are. They're people who hate our way of life, hate our liberty, hate the fact that women are allowed in this meeting. They're people who would impose a totally alien view on us and are prepared to kill us to win their way. And the average American says, I got it. Let's defend us and defeat them. Not complicated enough. Couple more examples. 71% of the American people believe that our terrorist enemies would kill millions of Americans. 83% support establishing clear laws, making it a crime to advocate terrorism or violent conduct. 77% support closing down terrorist websites from abroad using techniques of computer work. 83% agree that America should take the threat of fanatical religious groups more seriously. This is not what you're getting every day in the elite media, but it's what the American people are saying to each other every day, at the workplace, at church, at their local restaurant, when their family gets together. That are normally associated by media with this meeting. And this will surprise none of you, but will shock ABC and CBS and NBC, and may lead the New York Times a substantial number of people to migrate to the sea. Well, with me at that. 89% of the American people believe that religion and morality are important to them and their family. morality are important to the country. Not only we now decide the ACB. 87% approve of the reference to the Creator and the Declaration of Independence. Strongly disapprove. 94%. This is not the America you're going to see on the cover of Time magazine, but it's the America that actually looks at the cover of Time magazine. It's the American people. 88% approve of the reference of one nation under God and the Pledge of Allegiance. 7% strongly disapprove. So today our reports tend to side with the 7% against the 88%, which is exactly the opposite of the founding fathers' papers, and that's why Supreme Court judges don't work, and that's why we have to left and say no. We are not going to tolerate secular judges who do not understand America, do not understand American history, and who would fundamentally alter our civilization in ways that no one would recognize. It's even stronger when you get down to practical action. 78% of the American people believe it is okay for the Ten Commandments to appear in courthouses across the country. 81% oppose any effort to remove crosses and other monuments from public parks and other public property. Only 8% approve. 94% approve of a moment of silence allowing children to pray to themselves if they want to each day in public school. 90% approve of a Christmas tree or menorah being placed on public property during the holiday season. Only 5% disapprove strongly. 82% are opposed to the banning of all prayer in public schools. Only 9% favor. This is not clearly the message that Washington, the news media, the academic elite have ever gotten. They represent a secular, distant, and frankly uprooted system that doesn't understand the core of America, doesn't understand how we got here, doesn't understand who we are. One of the key reasons you came here is to prove that we can reach out to Americans across the whole country. We can unify the 79, 80, 85, 90%. And we can start replacing the people who don't understand American history and don't understand last point, because I think sometimes our elite critics fundamentally misunderstand what this is all about. This is not about theology. This is not about some abstract notion. 84% of the American people agree that references to God and the Pledge of Allegiance and the Declaration of Independence are important because they make clear that certain rights cannot be taken away by government. Now, I'm going to stop here for a minute. Just as a former history teacher, maybe as a history teacher, I don't think you ever quite get out of it. I want to share with you. I wrote a book called Rediscovering God, which is a walking tour of Washington. And we actually have a new DVD that we're going to premiere. The list that I did, where we actually take you through the city step by step. The reason I wrote this, the reason we're doing this DVD, is because the Ninth Circuit Court ruled that it was unconstitutional to say one nation under God. I realized that our secular elites had gotten so out of touch with the core of America that it was essential that we bring together everybody, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, everybody who believes in American history, everybody who believes in the core values of America. And let me explain why. You're here in Washington. If you get a chance before you go home, go down to the National Monuments and look at that document, the Declaration of Independence, a political document. We're not asking anybody in history classes to teach theology. We're asking to teach political history, the history of the United States of America, the history of its founding document, a document which says we are endowed by our leader with certain unalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, why does that matter? It matters because in that sense, we are part of the uniqueness of the American experience. We are the only society which says power comes from God to each one of you personally. You inherit the power. It is unalienable. And then in our second great document, which is also the national document, the Constitution, it says we, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, we the lawyers, it doesn't say we the bureaucrats, it doesn't say we the politicians. They don't loan us power. We loan them power. This is what I want all the press to understand. I want all the elite media to understand. I want every candidate for president of both parties to understand. I am not making a theological argument. I am making a historical argument about the nature of the United States. And that historical argument is simple. The people who created the United States of America believe that you and I are sovereign and we are the center of power, and we have the right to fire those to whom we loan power. DVD is so when you get back home you see some of your friends and they are confused and they say, well, I know that the Declaration says when endowed by our Creator, Jefferson helped write that. He was a deist. Now they actually don't know what a deist is, but they're pretty sure that makes them feel part of the reason why we discovering God in America is at the National Archive. Now let's look at the people who wrote it. It started with Washington Monument. Washington Monument at its very top, the tallest place in the city of by design. The side which faces the east is the first place lit by the sun. The sun lights up, Laos Day, glory to God, which is at the top of the Washington Monument. Now, Washington was a profound religious man who believed that his survival and the survival of the American army at the Battle of Brooklyn was literally a miracle. And since and Washington represented a generation which believed in the power of prayer, and people Benjamin Franklin, often thought of as the least religious of the founding fathers, is the man who called in the Constitutional Convention for a day of prayer and fasting, because the normal secular minds trying to create America had failed and were deadlocked, and they had to move from this symbol to this symbol in order to create America. Now it's that straightforward. Neighbors are saying, well, that Jefferson. Now, Jefferson wrote that. He's the famous intellectual. He didn't believe in that. He wrote to the Danbury Baptist, there should be a wall of separation between church and state. It's true. What Jefferson meant that phrase is, we should not have action to be paid for by false taxation and having power over the other religions. Well, let me tell you, that is what Jefferson meant. I'm totally with Jefferson. No interest in it. What's your secular friends won't tell you? 2 days after Jefferson wrote that letter, he went buildings to meet in the early days of Washington. If you go to Jefferson Memorial, you will see around the top of the memorial the following words to Thomas Jefferson. I have sworn upon the altar of God Almighty, eternal hostility against all forms of tyranny over the minds of men. You might be calling your friends when they say to you, Jefferson couldn't have meant creator to mean God, because after all, Jefferson is God. You might ask, what did they think Jefferson meant by altar of God? Since that's a direct quote from Jefferson. Now, if they are a tenured faculty member, they famous person, they will be able to look at you with a straight face and say, oh, this was highly selective communication representing a large purple banana. So it's an old-fashioned speech. Let me tell you what I think Jefferson. I think Jefferson is doing this pretty well, probably use the word God to mean God. He's a simple-minded, old-fashioned way of thinking. Let me carry you just one step further, two steps further. When you're down in the monumental part of the city, walk over to the Lincoln Memorial, the symbol of the most painful period in American history, 620,000 dead. And walk up to the Lincoln Memorial and look first at the Gettysburg Address, which, by the way, is where the cause of our disagreement with the Ninth Circuit Council. The Gettysburg Address, Lincoln talks about a nation under God, which he personally wrote into his text while sitting on the platform, looking out at the cemetery, being moved by the bodies of the dead soldiers. And so the Ninth Circuit Court is saying to Abraham, to the history of America, to a monument that's carved into granite, that is somehow unconstitutional to say one nation under God. To then turn and read the most painful inaugural in American history, the second inaugural, April 1865, 620,000 dead Americans. President Lincoln carried in his soul the burden of both sides. It's not an inaugural for winners. It's an inaugural to bind Americans together, to bring us back. In 703 short words, he cites God 14 times and quotes the Bible twice. And I would ask, say to your secular friends, would you stand against? Is it wrong on public property to have the exact words the President states, about 14 times? Is there something fundamentally missing here? And then finally, if your friends are Democrats, they say, well, that was a long time ago. Let me share with you an experiment I did this year that I hope will be an annual event. You can call your favorite radio station and help us. We shot late May. We got 100 radio stations led by Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and many other people. And on the 6th of June, over 1,500 radio stations played the 9.5-minute prayer of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt leading the entire country on D-Day, the 6th of June, as young Americans landed at Normandy. It was extraordinary. If you've never heard it, it is an extraordinarily powerful prayer. It's a prayer not mentioned in the Roosevelt which was done in recent years in a more secular society, no longer understood what they were. And yet, Roosevelt worked in voice. And he's not ashamed to go to the American. He doesn't just go and say, God bless America. At 10 o'clock at night on national radio, he went on the air and said, as President of the United States, will you join me in prayer? And he led the nation in prayer for 9.5 minutes, and he wasn't ashamed to say that our enemies are evil, that our young men are risking their lives for freedom. And he went on to say something to me, this is going to be a long war and a hard war, and I want to ask you to pray every single day for the young men who are risking their lives. This is the liberal, totally unashamed to recognize the needs on behalf of all people of America, to lead all of us to care for our sons and daughters, was exactly right. gave us prosperity. That America, a lot of people don't know, everywhere in the world, is an America which was based on our rights come from our Creator, and that if we forget to go to our Creator, we are in fact going to lose our way inevitably. And when you look at the experience of the last 45 years, since the Supreme Court said it was illegal to pray in school, somehow between the violence in school, the ignorance in school, the gangs in school, the methamphetamine in school, all the things we watched, I somehow don't think this has improved America one bit. Because I believe we're one of the great points in American history. I believe in the next few years, the American people are going to come together. Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, moderates, even most liberals. They're going to say, you know, the path we've gone recently, the path that the judges put us on, the path that the media has put us on, the path that senior faculty members put us on, that's the path that America has been. That's the path to create a country that will no longer be free, no longer be prosperous, no longer be worthy of America. I believe you're fundamentally, because I believe that the average American knows that things have been happening to make no sense. Obvious closing examples that are not about the role of religion, but they're about the role of America. Every young American should have to pass a test in American history before they graduate from high school. Who immigrates to America and wants to become an American citizen should have to pass a test in American history so they have learned about the country they're seeking. Very happy for people to come to America legally in order to become American, but I'm very clear what it means to become American. Let me say, part of it means English should be the official language. English for people come here so that there is no need for anybody to say we need to print ballots in any language but English. No excuses. But we will choose to become American because that's how your children have the best future with the greatest income, the greatest health. Let me say this in closing. There are many people of great power in the news media, in the academic world, in government, among judgeships, who are deeply opposed to virtually everything you believe in. The correct answer in the American tradition is to do what the Federalists did, what Thomas Jefferson did, what Andrew Jackson did,